yesterday we talked about the fact that World War I was also known as the Great War and the war to end all wars. And then we identified 6 causes of the war. We have militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism, your main causes. And then we also have the moral diplomacy and the freedom of the seas. So if you go to the next page, it's going to ask you, of those 6, your main, then your moral diplomacy and your freedom of the seas, I want you to pick one and then tell me why that one was the most significant one. And you're going to put that answer into your Edpuzzle as well as into your notes. So go ahead and pause the video right now. Answer that question in the Edpuzzle question that's going to prompt you, and then also on your paper. Welcome back. I want to go over some important events to know today. 1913 Civil War erupts in Mexico. And we have to be concerned about that because they're just on our southern border. And if that fighting transfers up into U.S. territory, or they attack us maybe by accident or on purpose, that could clearly cause us a problem because all of our focus is on Europe right now, and we weren't really paying attention to Mexico. So now we kind of got to pay attention in 2 places. And we're going to learn about the Zimmerman note tomorrow. And I think that'll add a little bit more complexity to this. In 1914, war begins in Europe with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and you should have watched the Edpuzzle about that and all of the interesting things that possibly would be different if this had not happened. But at the end of the video, he makes a very good point, and that is the fact that we were in Europe. They were kind of looking for a reason for a war, and so all the tensions were very, very high, and this assassination really is called the powder keg because it lights up all of those conflicts and gets us into World War I. Although not us necessarily, but the world. And then in 1915, Germans sink the Lusitania. This is a passenger and a cargo ship. 128 Americans died in addition to the deaths of many British passengers. So if you look at the headlines of the New York Times, it says Lusitania is sunk by a submarine, probably 1,260 dead, twice torpedoed off the Irish coast, sinks in 5 minutes, Captain Turner saved, Frohman and Vanderbilt missing. Washington believes that a grave crisis is at hand. So I'm going to ask you a question in the Edpuzzle in a second. Do you think that them sinking a British ship that had 128 Americans should be a cause for concern enough to get us into war or not? Okay, so go ahead and pause and answer that question, and then go back to Schoology once that puzzle's done, and go ahead and follow the directions. Thank you.